Hello there, greetings from Ostrava. I'm after the third game of mine in the Szachowy Ostravsky Konik tournament. Yeah, today once again I had a game as black against 2066 players. So yeah, 100 over 150 FIDE rating higher than me. It was an interesting game. I hope that yeah, you can learn something from that. My opponent has started with e4. This time I've decided to play something else than last time, just to also play around with my repertoire as black, to do not be hold only to the Sicilian defense and try to play a different things during the tournament. So I have played e5. I've seen that my opponent sometimes were playing f4, so the king's gambit, sometimes knight f3 and going to the Italian game, and this time it was the Italian one. Bishop c4, bishop c5, this is the Italian defense. As alternative, of course, I could play knight f6, which would be the two knights defense. Bishop c5, c3, knight f6, and d3. This is one of the lines that was really popular during the candidates tournament. I've seen at least a few games that were following this pattern. So yeah, I had a few examples in my head how to play that. Also, yeah, I have made some preparation before the game, so that wasn't that hard for me. However, that was the first Italian game that I have played in the classical games in the classical tournament since I know since I was a teenager. So yeah, long time no see. A6, just a move to give the possibility to yeah to go with b5 sometimes. But what is most important, a move that allows the bishop to return to the a7 field. And yeah, I'm not afraid of getting chased by the knight later on, or by one of the pawns, either by b4 or d4. A4. So my opponent definitely didn't want to have the b5 on the board. D6, just a pragmatic, chilly move. Knight a3. That was the order that I didn't know. So yeah, I had to understand what my opponent had in his plans. Yeah, probably his way of playing that was trying to get that knight firstly into the c2 and then try to get that knight into e3. That's one of the maneuvers that can happen for this knight. The other is yeah, the other is going from b1 to d2, f1, and yeah, usually to e3. And yeah, the goal for this knight is fighting for both light squares and at my side of the board, so f5 and d5. I just castled, white done the same, and bishop a7. I didn't want to show what are my plans yet. And this kind of the move, returning the bishop, is always okay because yeah, no matter if my opponent will play before or d4, I have a tempo. I don't need to react immediately because my bishop is not attacked while playing that. Bishop b3. I thought that probably the most challenging line for me would be trying to pin my knight here. But yeah, my plan against that was just to play h6 and yeah, follow that by g5, so something like that. Instead of that, yeah, white played bishop b3, h6, so preventing opponent from getting the knight on g5, knight to c4. So definitely a plan to to move that knight into e3. So as I shown earlier, but with the difference that yeah, probably on c4 that knight is a bit more active. So here I had some options. One of the moves that I have been considering was returning the knight into e7 with plan to to have more control over those two squares. But the downside of that move was that I'm leaving the d4 square. The other option was to play bishop e6, which probably is the best right now. Just to pin the knight, trying to exchange a bit more on the board here. And also, the move that I have played, but that's probably also okay. Bishop g4. Opponent played knight to e3, and I have returned the bishop. That wasn't probably the best choice. Maybe a better option was trying to uh, get rid of one of the bishops. But for me, it was hard to decide which one is weaker right now. Because if I will play as I played during the game, those knights could be really powerful, as it was in the game. Probably maybe taking one of those would be better, but it's hard to make a decision which one. So maybe this one, playing something like that, and then I know knight to h7. That's probably a good enough option for me. I'm putting the pressure on the knight here, and my opponent would need to face that. Probably that would be some line. But instead, I returned the bishop to h5, queen to d7, and we've just planned to have some counter attack on the f5 pawn. Probably better choice was to play immediately knight to e7. Because the queen on d7 wasn't that useful piece, so I waste a move, and I think. I just wanted to complicate the position a bit because at that time I've seen that my opponent had less time than me. It was around 35 minutes for the rest of the up to 40 moves. So that was more or less than 1.5 minutes per move. So I thought that after playing queen d7, he would need to calculate if the g4 is available, because he would need to calculate all the sacrifices of the piece on g4. But it turned out that that wasn't that scary, and he could just simply play that because after, let's say, doing that sacrifice, something like that. Position is really not that bad for my opponent. He could just plan to return the knight, and even try to exchange some pieces, try to move the rook to the g file, and it seems like despite of not having any pawns in front of the king, my king could have much serious trouble than his. So that wasn't the option. Bishop g6, knight to h4, trying to put the pressure. Right now, the bishop is hanging because if I would play something like that, I couldn't take the knight back here because of the pin on the king. I was considering for a moment playing bishop king to h7, but I wasn't sure about this kind of the position. I was afraid that my opponent would be able to open the position a bit, and my king at this small corner created by the pawns would not be that safe. So instead, I have decided to return the bishop, queen to f3. I've tried to put more defense into the f5 pawn, but also trying to prepare the opening, any kind of counterattack from my side, because I could just stand and wait until the that penalty, but instead I've decided to do some counterattack here. So I thought the d5 and trying to put the opportunity to exchange some pawns, open the line on the d file is the only option for me. So he played king h2 just to leave the g file for the rook. Sorry. I played d5. Yeah, as I said, I need to open the position, so that's the only possibility for me. He played knight to f5. I have exchanged that. To be honest, probably much better on his side was trying to maybe instead of taking back with this knight, taking with this, yeah, putting this one, and after that, trying to leave more knights on the board because that knight could be a crucial piece that could lead to the winning on the king side. It's hard to reorganize my pieces to defend the king here, and an extra piece on his side, yeah, as a knight here, it would be probably the one that is missing to conclude the winning position. So I've been a bit lucky here because yeah, my opponent played has exchanged another knight here. I took on e5, e4. So yeah, I managed to get at least some counter attack, and yeah, thanks to exchange on the d-file, there is also an extra vulnerability on e4, which I will try to do put some pressure on. King h7, just a preparational move for defense, just to improve my side here. Rook to g1 and queen to c6. Yeah, during the game, I've calculated that yeah, I should be able to hold this position. Something that I was calculating here was trying to, yeah, because my opponent could have a double attack right now, which seems to be deadly at first. But I thought that yeah, I can just return the knight, plan to put the queen on f6, and yeah, have a really stable and chill position, just to create a stable position, which is easy to defend. However, there was a move that could break everything here. Bishop to d5. And right now, queen needs to decide where it needs to go. It needs to, yeah, to stay here to defend the b7 here a bit, and yeah, that could be a bit more serious for me. But fortunately, my opponent didn't play queen to g3. Instead, that was the bishop c2. I played immediately, almost immediately, a5, just to do not allow my opponent to play b4 and win the space on the queen side. I wanted to keep some more extra space for myself here. And also my plan was to put the bishop on c5. If I would not have that a4, a5 pawn and play here instead, then yeah, my bishop would need to decide on which diagonal he wants to be. Here he's already static, just defending the pieces, while being on c5, he still has the chances to get to the defense, but also is an active piece that is putting some pressure on the opponent. So yeah, a5, uh, bishop c5, rook to g2, rook to d8, trying to activate my last missing piece in the game, because yeah, rook on f8 needs probably to be spent on the defense. Queen to e2, probably yeah, he was planning to put the queen on c4 later on to put some extra pressure here, but yeah, I haven't seen anything bad here. I thought that yeah, I'm just putting more pressure on the f2 pawn. Rook to b1, rook to g8, and yeah, here it was hard for me to find any good plan, because it's hard to get use of the d file that I have won here. Also, yeah, it's hard to do any progress on this diagonal, so I could just stand and wait. And yeah, I've seen that my opponent has just 10 minutes on his clock for another 12 or 14 moves here. So I have decided to do some small psychological game, and I have offered him a draw, because yeah, if that was a draw, I don't have any concrete plan. that would be okay for me. And if he would reject that as he did in the game, then I'm fine with that. But still, he had spent at least a couple of minutes on thinking about the draw. So that was a good choice of mine. Uh, and here my opponent has blundered something because yeah, he played bishop d2. And the move that he has missed was bishop f2. And right now, of course, he can take the bishop, but then he got the double attack, and also because of the bishop d2, the bishop is hanging, and yeah, he's losing both of the pieces. So that would be a winning. Something that I also would have to calculate was what if he would play before here, because yeah, his plan is to make some complications to my queen here. But what was in my head after that was sacrifice the exchange. And yeah, why that would be my choice because I would get rid of the stronger of his bishops. I would leave him with a really weak and not that supportive white square bishop. And yeah, he would have a king that could have some serious problems. As you can see here, it seems like right now I would have more mating chances than he. So yeah, that would be a really good position for me. Instead of that, he surprised me with bishop g5. And yeah, I was thinking about taking that, but wasn't sure about how to defend that. After the analysis of the game, I think that it would be okay for me if I would play probably here. That is not the move that looks good at first glance, but it seems like everything is holding here. Because yeah, right now I can play bishop h6. I'm okay with defending the king. But right now my opponent could have some troubles here because yeah, what is dangerous for him is that yeah, I can play rook to d2 right now, exchange one of the rooks, and then g file is probably okay for me to, and yeah, taken by me, something like that could be, for instance. And yeah, right now I'm having some mating chances, but yeah, of course he could, instead of that, instead of taking on g7, could play, for instance, this. And yeah, then it would be probably yeah, the game that would end up as something around draw, but with more chances for me. But yeah, I had 10-15 minutes right now, so I was afraid of playing bishop, taking that bishop and playing bishop e3. So I've decided to play something more stable. So I have returned the bishop. After b4, I have taken that and put the bishop on active square on d4. And here, opponent has decided to play rook b3. So yeah, I thought that I need to move the queen to d6 to yeah, to have that diagonal here. So I'm yeah, still having the pressure on the b4, but also I'm having a quick way to get to the f8. And yeah, I have underestimated a bit the move rook to g3 because yeah, I thought that I can easily win the pawn here. But here my opponent has a really serious threats. Because yeah, right now it's hard to defend the hard to defend f7 pawn. I cannot defend that with this pawn because yeah, g7 pawn, square is hanging. I couldn't defend that with the other rook because yeah, then there is a simple overload of the rook. He cannot defend both things at the same time. And if I would play something like queen to c4, he can just attack my queen with bishop to b3. So the only option was playing queen to e7. And yeah, right now we need to calculate the material. I have two pawns up. However, one of the pawns is doubled here, so I would not include this pawn as advantage. And also, yeah, I'm having more troubles with my king, but that could change really easily. But yeah, I need to defend first. And here, my opponent play bishop to b3, and I need to be really, really careful with that because yeah, if that one would be gone, then also the g6 square is really, really weak, and I could easily lose that game. So yeah, I had to play really carefully. I've decided to play to exchange one of the rooks first and play queen to d7. I couldn't play rook here because yeah, I'm just losing after that. For instance, my opponent could play this, or maybe that was the option. No, my opponent could just simply play here. Oh yeah, that was the move that I was calculating during the game, and yeah, I could have some problems here because yeah, I could yeah even give it a check here, give the check here, but yeah, as soon as my checks are done, then I'm having a serious trouble here because yeah, the mating opportunities is quicker on his side than on mine. And also I couldn't play rook to f8 because then queen to g4, and yeah, the mate is hanging. And the only move that was still keeping the game was rook to d7, but I had to calculate a really brilliant move of my opponent here, rook to g6. And yeah, you can pause the video here and try to check why you cannot take the rook on g6. Okay, I hope that you have paused the video and check that on yourself. But yeah, the thing is that yeah, if I would take that, he can take that with queen. Check on h6. I need to block the check by queen, and then I'm losing the queen and got mated. So that would be a deadly choice by me. But fortunately, I have seen that from far away, and I knew that I can simply give up the pawn on f6 and yeah, play queen g7 later on. So right now, my opponent is on pressure because what is the plan on myself is to play queen g1 and yeah, have at least the perpetual on my opponent. So, and also the rook here is hanging, so yeah, he needs to make a tough choice, and he decided to exchange all the pieces except the bishops. And right now it's the bishop endgame with the same amount of the pawns on each side. And I know if you know that theory about the bishop endgames with different opposite sides colors squares, because yeah, I have a black dark square bishop. Opponent has the white square bishop, and usually even if the material difference between the sides is yeah, one or two pawns, it's relatively high risk that yeah, that endgame is draw anyway, yeah, because for instance, yeah, I could just simply play king to f6, and yeah, there is no simple way for my opponent to make any progress here, because yeah, if he will try to move the king here, I can just yeah, repeat the moves with the bishop between those fields and wait. And if he would try to yeah, to move his king around to yeah, to this side, it's hard to make a progress. And yeah, even if he will try, I can just yeah, first try to put the pressure on this pawn, block the f pawn, and then move the king to this side, so I will not allowing the whites to yeah, to make a progress on the queen side. So yeah, no matter what he would try, that would be a draw after all. So yeah, after king g4, and my opponent has offered a draw, and I have just simply accepted that. So yeah, not bad. I think I deserved that result because yeah, I had my chances after taking the pawn on the f2, but after the opening, yeah, white was stronger here and had more chances. But yeah, instead of concreting the advantage, he has exchanged too many pieces and couldn't finish me. So at the end, yeah, that was the fair result. But I'm happy about that because, yeah, once again, draw against a stronger player. I'm yeah winning some rating points after that. So yeah, win-win for me. Yeah, probably looking forward to the game tomorrow. I hope that I will once again play against a stronger player than me. To be honest, there are not that many players that are weaker than me in this tournament, so uh, probably statistically that's more possible. Anyway, if you managed to yeah to still watching me till now, try to type in the comment Italy. And yeah, thank you very much for your patience. Hope that you have learned something from that game. And yeah, see you next time.